realized that the same routines don't work for me. I used to love to run, and as I continue to get older, I feel the damaging effects of that on my joints, on my back, and it just doesn't affect me the way it used to when I was younger. So I resort to walking a lot. I love to walk. It's especially with other people. It's like therapy all in one. What do you think about that?
Actually, I think you bring up a really good point. I do ask oftentimes when someone comes in and they're, going through a certain routine, what is the purpose of that? And often the answer is, well, it's what I've always done. Well, what you've always done after a certain age might not be what you should continue to do for the next several decades of your life. Again, with the age changes that start earlier than we may recognize as we start to lose muscle mass, and muscles are our shock absorbers. So if we don't have as much strength, more of those forces are actually transferred into our joints instead of dispersed throughout our body. Same is true when we start to lose some of the flexibility. If our joints and our muscles are not flexible enough to absorb and transfer that energy throughout the body, it will actually drive those forces into the joints, which is probably some of what you're experiencing. So there are just some different things that you should focus on when you age. First and foremost is, am I balanced with my posture? Second is, do I have enough strength on the posterior side of my body or the posterior chain so that I am staying more upright? Thirdly, do I have enough flexibility in my joints so that I can do the things that I want to do or like to do, but within reason? And then again, really the importance of staying physically balanced. As we age, our body naturally loses its ability to balance itself against small losses of balance, which makes it hard for us to recover from larger losses of balance. So if someone were to come into me today and say, I've always been a runner, but I don't think my body likes it anymore, I'm going to initially look at, well, how stacked, how well balanced am I? And then I'm going to start looking for what we call muscle imbalances, which I do see a lot in women. Women do tend to have more of a forward head, sort of rounded shoulder posture. So everyone sit up straight. But what I notice with that is that they actually are more inclined to develop rotator cuff problems. So one of the things that I focus heavily on with my women is posture kind of above the waist, because they are, again, more inclined to have shoulder problems. So if you're doing a lot of overhead work or a lot of pull-ups, those kinds of things in your routine, if you don't have the movement, you're just wearing and tearing those joints unnecessarily.
Okay, that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.